Have you ever been wandering in a game and just feeling a little creeped out or just feeling like something's off? I'm not even talking about horror games like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Phasmophobia, or anything else. I'm talking about casual games like Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto, Sea of Thieves, and many, many more. There's always something off about being alone in video games, especially with the atmosphere going with it. And I'm not necessarily saying that this is a bad thing. I honestly think it's quite beautiful, which may sound weird, but it's always such a great experience to have when you feel creeped out about a game that isn't creepy at all. Let's take an example from my childhood of playing Minecraft. Now, we all know that Minecraft truly hasn't died. People just either get bored or take very long breaks. No offense to the OG Minecraft players, but I remember from when I was younger, I was in a chapter of Minecraft where nobody really played it. So I joined a server, but there was nobody on it. After realizing nobody was on it, I was gonna leave, but I just had this feeling of wanting to explore and adventure because, I was a kid. I just wanted to see the buildings and creations from people who aren't active anymore. For some reason, the music wouldn't come in, so I was just left in silence. Walking around more and more, it was calming, but there was just this overwhelming feeling of something being, rather off about it. Something about the buildings made it just feel like someone was there, watching me. And it's not even being alone on multiplayer. It's single player as well. It's like visiting an old world, remembering all the nostalgia, which that's another video I'm posting in the future. But exploring more, remembering all the memories, it's such a nice feeling, but then you realize how alone you really are. There's always something eerie about being in those worlds. And nobody really understands why. Hell, me even making this video doesn't explain it as good as the feeling describes itself. And I know there's always the joke of Minecraft being scary, but in some ways it genuinely kind of is. And I'm being honest with you, going into those caves, not knowing the ambience is there in a first playthrough of the game, is fucking horrifying. And a couple things that might add on a little bit. First, we're going to talk about the mobs. Being more specific, let's talk about the ghast. Hearing that thing scream is fucking terrifying. The way it screams just sends chills through my body. Another thing I wanted to mention, and this isn't just for Minecraft, this is for every fucking game. But reading theories and creepy experiences people have had in a certain game always intrigues me to want to experience it. And when you feel like you see something but you usually don't, it always gives you a sense of adrenaline. I'm 15, but at the end of the day, going into those caves alone always seems to unnerve me in some way. This feeling hasn't only been noticed by me, in fact it can come into play in so many games. And I'm gonna be completely honest, by doing a search for, is anyone else feeling unnerved by playing a certain game, there's almost always results. I got inspired to make this video by a YouTuber by the name of The Librarian, who made a video about a very creepy feeling with Source games, and honestly if you want more ideas on the feeling you should definitely watch it. But I think it goes past Source games in a whole. And honestly man, this video probably makes no sense because you're like, come on bro, it's just a video game, why are you treating it like it's real? You're being over dramatic. And I completely understand if you feel like that. I mean, I could sound like an absolute fucking lunatic. But think of it this way. When you watch a movie or read a book, you can truly feel the feelings, You can really feel the emotion of the scene or page. And in a way, it's kinda like that. But here's something that I read that someone said about this topic. It's almost like you're completely alone, isolated to be exact. And I know in some games there's NPCs or sometimes other players, but what about when there's not? There's something about this feeling though, it's like an enjoyment of the unnerving feeling you tend to get. And honestly, I feel like this is caused by the atmosphere, ambience, and sounds. And what I mean by that is graphics. Graphics can take a really, and I mean really big place in this. A Reddit user by the name of Arkin the Cook said this, which is what I meant by graphics have a really big feel on this. To me, these games' graphics are in that spot where they're simultaneously bad and good enough to feel like a weird dream. A dream in which all of the geometry is simplified and blocky and you can't distinguish any details on objects, but it somehow feels real. It really reminds you of liminal spaces. How it's like places you've seen in a dream, but something feels odd. It's like a feeling of expecting something to happen, although you know nothing is going to happen, and it may feel foolish, I know. But we return to the game and go back to the same place that makes us feel this way. I think a way of explaining the feeling is bringing up urban exploration. What is urban exploration, you may be asking? Well, Urban exploration is the exploration of man-made structures, usually abandoned ruins or hidden components of the man-made environment. The feeling of exploring ruins is seeing something that you've never seen. It's a great feeling, as it's like what I said before. It gives you a feeling of adrenaline. But it's so fucking creepy because it's completely abandoned in ruins. And a lot of people do it at night. That's what she said. Anyway, now how this plays into what we're talking about here, exploring empty or lost areas in video games. It makes you feel like you're exploring an abandoned ruin, getting lost in areas you never saw yourself in before. In the Grand Theft Auto series, finding all the Easter eggs I found when I was younger scared the fuck out of me, I'm not even gonna lie. And not even just Grand Theft Auto, it's like in Half-Life / Half-Life 2, when the G-Man is just stalking you throughout your playthrough. There's so many more things I can add on to this. The creepy feeling in video games isn't just based on you being a little itty-bitty puss boy. As I've said before, it's based off the atmosphere, the ambience, the soundtracks, the characters, NPCs, graphics, and so much more. You can feel alone, hear things, maybe even see things, and make up your own theories to what you're experiencing. At the end of the day, this is going to be something that won't happen often, but it will happen every once in a while. I wouldn't say it's rare, but it can be in certain games that you feel like this. Now remember, this video isn't based on horror games. It's based on games that don't have anything to do with horror in the first place. And it's an odd feeling for sure. And in a way, it honestly really is a fairly enjoyable feeling. And don't come at me saying I'm being overdramatic. Because it doesn't happen for everyone. And that concludes our video about why I find some video games so fucking creepy. Now, some of this may not have made sense as I wrote this really fucking late at night, but I do hope you get a little understanding of why I feel like some people feel like this. There's genuinely so much more to it as well. Me just making a short video on it does not explain it all. Before I go, I know my camera looks like shit. I just wanted to say that if you enjoyed this video, you should drop a like and subscribe because it helps. I also have a horror playlist out if you want to watch it. Binge my content. Yeah. Also join my Discord server. Anyway, that's all. Bye bye.